Now we are going to discuss the derivatives of the embryological vein. Number one is umbilical vein. During the embryological life, the umbilical vein on the right side degenerates and regresses. So the umbilical vein regresses on the right side. Whereas during the fetal life, the left one is important in transmitting the oxygenated blood from the placenta to the venous end of the developing heart, and later when the baby is born, this left umbilical vein is also converted into the round ligament of liver or ligamentum teres. So this left one also goes in the postnatal life. The white line veins on the right side is important in the formation of portal vein. How? First of all, white line vein is on the right side is in direct contact with the venous end of the developing heart. But later on, when the liver develops, its connection from this venous end of the heart is disrupted, and it is directly in contact with the liver. Now, you know, umbilical vesicle is also important for the herniation of the midgut loop. So, this midgut loop herniation and this liver on the right side, basically it is important in the formation of portal vein, and portal vein also takes the blood from the alimentary canal to the liver. So it is important in the formation of portal vein on the right side, and on the left side it regresses. Fine. So now we are left with anterior and posterior cardinal veins. What happens to the anterior cardinal veins? The left anterior cardinal vein basically makes an anastomosis with the right cardinal vein, so there is left to right shunt. All the blood coming from this left cardinal vein will be shifted to the right cardinal vein and then to the common cardinal vein. This part also degenerates. So this one becomes the left brachiocephalic vein, and this part will now become the superior vena cava. So the anterior cardinal vein on the right side will become the superior vena cava, and on the left side it will regress its caudal part, and the anastomosis will become the left brachiocephalic vein. And the only thing which is left about the posterior cardinal vein in its distal part is the azygous vein and the common iliac veins. Now these are all about the MCQs type. The one of the important SCQ is the development of inferior vena cava. Now you know that this part, on both sides almost regresses, and the distal part will form the azygous vein and the common iliac veins. Now, how do the inferior vena cava will develop? It has four parts: hepatic, pre-renal, renal, and post-renal. We will begin from here. You know that the posterior cardinal veins will form the common iliac veins. Till here, there are common iliac veins. Now, the vein which is coming around is this, that is the supracardinal veins. So, the post-renal segment will be formed by right supracardinal vein, and the left one will regress, So the right supracardinal vein will form the post-renal part of the inferior vena cava. Now, the renal segment will be formed by supra and subcardinal anastomosis, this part. So this is the first part and this is the second part. Fine. The third part will be, that is the pre-renal, that will be formed by the subcardinal veins, this veins. However, irrespective of inferior vena cava, it also gives rise to the renal vein, suprarenal vein, and gonadal veins. So this part on the left as well as on the right will give rise to renal, suprarenal, and gonadal veins. However, on the right side, it will also give rise to some part of inferior vena cava. Fine. And the last is the hepatic segment. What happens? Beyond the liver, the part of the white line vein will form inferior vena cava, right white line vein. You know the left one regresses, right white line vein. So hepatic segment is formed by the right white line vein, the segment that is beyond the liver. And then after passing through the liver, it will move into the venous end of the heart. So it has four parts. Number one, formed by the right supracardinal vein. The second part by the supra-sub anastomosis. The third part, that is the pre-renal, that is formed by the subcardinal vein, and the last part, the hepatic, is formed by the white line vein, that is the right one after the portal vein is formed. Now we are going to move towards the development of heart tube. As explained already, that the primary heart tube is basically the transfer of the cells from the primitive state towards the splanchnic mesoderm bilaterally. This is the bilateral paired strands which are present basically on both sides or bilateral. So what happens whenever there is the lateral force in the horizontal plane, जब horizontal plane में lateral fold होता है, तो basically क्या होता है, they both these paired strands come together to form the heart tube, fine. And the space which is present here, this is the pericardial cavity, and this is the heart tube. This is the heart tube, and this is the pericardial cavity, fine. And this is basically the neural tube that is shown over here, and this is the notochord, fine. These are the other developing structures, esophagus and trachea, that are not relevant to the heart tube. So this is basically the heart tube which is being developing. Now we are going to see the different parts of the heart tube, cranial to caudal end, fine. Cranially, the very first part is the truncus arteriosus. The truncus arteriosus. Second part is bulbus cordus, third is ventricles, fourth is atria, and fifth is sinus venosus. This part, the sinus venosus, is basically that part which is receiving the veins of the embryo, the white line veins and all the other veins, fine. Now what happens, basically the cranial part will move towards the right and a little caudally. एक bend आएगा, there will be a bend a little downwards. और जो इसका caudal part है वो थोड़ा सा ऊपर जाएगा, it will move upwards and towards the left and dorsally. ये पार्ट ventrally आएगा, ये पार्ट dorsally. Dorsally जाने की वजह से sinus venosus और atria वाला पार्ट पीछे चला जाएगा, it will move dorsally backwards as this. The sinus venosus and atria will move backwards, and the other structures will be forward, means ventrally. This is the ventral part. The bulbus cordus, ventricles and truncus arteriosus is ventral, and dorsal are the atria and the sinus venosus, fine. And the aortic sac is basically that part from where the aorta will arise. You know, in primordial aorta there are two parts, right dorsal aorta and left dorsal aorta. The aortic sac is that part from where these both will arise. Now aortic sac and this dorsal aorta are connected with each other with the help of specialized arteries known as pharyngeal arch arteries. Total there are 6 pharyngeal arch arteries. The fifth one regresses, and the remaining 5 will give out some of the structures which we will discuss later. Now this is the complete heart tube, its folding and the parts. Now one by one we will be discussing, and first we will begin with the development of atria.